Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are taking a look into the case of Japanese serial killer Miyuki Ishikawa, who did really bad things in 1940s in Japan. Want to know what she did, why, and how? But first, let's start from the beginning. So, let's see some background information on Miyuki. Miyuki Ishikawa was born around 1897 in Kinitomi. She attended and graduated from the University of Kyoto. Miyuki married a man called Takeshi Ishikawa, and they didn't have any children. Miyuki was a midwife at the Kotobuki Maternity Hospital, and then she became the director of that hospital. In late 1940s, Japan's economy was destroyed because of the war. People had to wait in line for hours for some food. Unemployment was very high, and because men came home from the war, there was a baby boom. But couples couldn't afford to raise a child, and at the time, abortion was illegal in Japan. So do you see where I'm going with this? Not yet? Just wait a minute. Because of their financial conditions, women who gave birth at Miyuki's ward abandoned the babies there. The number of babies kept increasing and charitable resources were almost non-existent. And because Miyuki was unable to help all the babies, she made a choice to fix her situation. She would kill the babies. To kill the babies, she just simply neglected them, and they would eventually die. Then she would dispose of the bodies. Other midwives at the hospital were aware of what was happening, and the government sadly ignored the deaths. So the midwives resigned from their positions. But the thing is, she didn't work alone. She had help. Miyuki had help from her husband and a doctor to take advantage of the situation. So the doctor would write a false death certificate for the babies who were murdered. Her husband would extort the parents of the babies who were abandoned and killed by asking them hush money. He would say it would be cheaper than raise the children. So basically they were making money out of all these cruel deaths. There's no exact number of victims, but the numbers are between 103 and 169. Because they were disposing this huge amount of bodies, eventually they ran out of places to hide the bodies. So on January 12, 1948, the police from Waseda found accidentally 5 human remains. Autopsies were performed and they found out the 5 babies didn't die of natural causes. The police investigated, and in my opinion, they knew what the Ishikawas were doing, allegedly, so they arrested Miyuki, her husband, and the doctor on January 15, 1948. When I say they knew what they were doing, I mean it has to do with the information I said before when the midwives resigned and the government did nothing. They ignored. So they were aware of what was going on. So when the bodies were found, they automatically assumed it was the Ishikawas. That's my opinion, allegedly. As the police kept investigating, they discovered 40 bodies in a mortician's house, 30 in a temple, and as the time went by, they kept recovering bodies. When Miyuki went to trial, her defense team's strategy was to argue that parents were the ones who were responsible for the deaths of the children because they abandoned them. I want to point out that at the time, according to Japanese law, infants didn't have many rights. So the defense team used this to claim Miyuki Ishikawa didn't commit murder. And surprisingly, the defense team's strategy worked, and they gained a lot of support from the public. Miyuki Ishikawa was found guilty of a crime of omission. Miyuki Ishikawa was sentenced to 8 years in prison, her husband Takeshi to 4 years, and the doctor also 4 years. The Ishikawas appealed their sentences, and in 1952 they were resentenced to 4 years to Miyuki and 2 years to her husband. The case of Miyuki Ishikawa prompted the government to think about the legalization of abortion in Japan. On July 13, 1948, the Eugenic Protection Law, and these days it's called mother's body protection law was established, and also a national examination system for midwives. On June 24th, 1948, abortion for economic reasons was legalized under eugenic protection law. And so this is the story of Miyuki Ishikawa, Japan's most prolific female serial killer. Having to keep in mind this happened in the 1940s Japan, I still find it shocking. The cruelty to leave a baby to die by not paying attention, just leave the baby there. I think the thing we keep finding in these cases is that the human being is capable of great cruelty and unimaginable evil acts. Killing babies and making money out of it is definitely cruel and evil. And to end this, don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell button. Thank you for watching. See you the next time. Stay safe.